Hi guys, it's good to see you. So the latest news now is the borders of Ukraine are open, but travelers from the red zones, basically countries that have high incidence of COVID, have to have quarantine for 2 weeks after they will fly to Ukraine. We had our dear Peter from USA come to Ukraine and he will share with us his experience. USA is in the red zone, the incidence of COVID is high, and so he will tell you about his experience of being quarantined in Ukraine. Welcome to Ukraine. I hope that you will like it here, and as far as I know, it's been only 2 days since you are in Ukraine and you are free. You do not have to be quarantined. Why is that? What did you do? What did you break any laws? Did you cheat the system?
So, because I don't read Ukrainian completely well, I don't know what laws I may have broken walking down the street and not reading street signs, but hopefully I haven't broken any major ones. To escape quarantine, all I did, I asked the customs officer at the airport before I left. I said, is it true that I will be allowed time to buy groceries and to be COVID tested? And he said, yes, it is true. He was laughing. Maybe they don't want it to get out, but he said it was true.
Where did you do the test for COVID? So basically, we did our research about labs for COVID testing, and I signed you up for a hospital of Ministry of Health. It's a government hospital, and you come there in the mornings, every morning without appointment, and you do your test, and they are connected to the program Kiev Doma, and they submit the results. And when the results are negative for COVID, your quarantine stops.
I arrived on Monday night, early Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. I went to the Ukraine Ministry of Health, their virological lab. So here is 3 Estenskaya Street. This is the main entrance to the Ukraine Ministry of Health. When you approach it, you see that the doors are locked and there are signs on the door that I can't read with arrows, but the arrows are telling you to turn to the right and make a nice little loop around the building. So we'll do that so everyone can see the path clearly. They do testing every day from 9 to 11, and no appointment is required or available. You just show up. I recommend showing up as early as possible. There's not much of a line, but what you need to do as an American is to receive your test, and they'll give you a little invoice, and you fill out the invoice and they tell you to take that to a bank. They told me private bank. I think many banks are possible. They try to tell me more banks, but they don't speak English there. So the only bank that the lady was confident saying in English was private bank. There's a lot of those.
So tell me more, Peter, about this.
So I got tested with one swab in the throat and one swab up deep into my head in each sinus.
And how was it?
And it sounds really uncomfortable or painful. It was not even uncomfortable at all. It sickled like crazy. But I just did that, and then I went back and I activated my quarantine app, and 18 hours later I checked the quarantine app. Actually, the only reason I checked it is someone had told me on the internet that you could change your address in the middle of quarantine, and I didn't even know if that sounded realistic. So I wanted to see if there was an option for that. And when I looked, there were no options at all for me. It said, welcome to Ukraine, you're free from quarantine.
So there are only about 4 institutions in Kiev, and also in every city about 1 institution that's licensed to do COVID testing for Kiev Doma application. Only they can transfer the results, and so the traveler is free, his quarantine stops. The rest, they submit the results using third party. So how was it using Ukrainian hospital, Ukrainian healthcare provider without English? As far as I know, they did not speak English. How was it?
So there was no worries at all without English. When I went to the room to be tested originally, there were two ladies. And then I said I only had English, and another lady came. By the time they were finished testing me, there were 7 ladies in the room. They were all so sweet and fun. It was like having 7 of your grandmother in the room, laughing as you were giggling because the swab was tickling you, and just talking and talking. It was very fun.
And so what happened from the time you were at the airport? Your quarantine actually starts when? Can you do groceries? Can you do your COVID test? How much time do you have? What if you're stuck in traffic?
The app, after you activate it, very quickly, after only about half an hour, will start to tell you very regularly, have you activated, are you in your quarantine location yet? If not, get there very soon and activate this app, or you will be in violation. And it's very scary. It continues to send this about every half hour. From my experience and from reading other people on the internet, this is just something to laugh about. Again, I asked the customs officer directly, hey, can I have time? He didn't even specify time, but everyone says on Facebook and the internet, everyone says that it's 24 hours. So my personal feeling is I wouldn't worry about it if you've taken less than 24 hours. All you need is groceries. You do want water. You know, if the worst were to happen, I don't think you want to be stuck in Ukraine for 2 weeks without water, so I bought a lot of water. Other than that, you have plenty of time to do all that and the testing. Generally, with their approach, I would think that if you got stuck in traffic and activated an hour later, my sense is that if anyone talked to you at all, you could just tell them that. And I don't want to speak for anyone, but that would be my sense, is it wouldn't be a problem there.
So quarantine system sounds very scary, but it's actually, there's nothing terrible about it. The program is really cool. Peter will tell you how does the program work, how does it check when you're at home. But it's not so scary. You just wait for do your test for COVID. Wait for result, and if you're healthy, the quarantine will end the same day.
The app is very neat. It has you look into it, and there's a little animated character, and it tells you to look left, look right, move your head up and down, blink however many times, so that they can tell that it's really you there and not just some picture of you. It's very creatively done. And I think the whole thing is a very good idea to minimize possible chances for flow of the virus without really disrupting people too much. Some people have said you can move by 2 kilometers. Officially, what happens is you activate the app in a location, and then several times throughout the day, you're given an alert. And once you get that alert, you have 15 minutes to come back to the location and then do that little interaction with the camera where you move your head and it can tell it's really you and you're in that location. So I think it's less about the distance that you've gone per meter than about the fact that you're somewhere where you can get back to your location in 15 minutes. Oh, one other thing I thought of that's important. They'll have you fill out paperwork at the virological lab. You need to tell them things like your home city in America and your address there. You should have your passport at the lab. They didn't actually ask me for it or the number, but it's good to have that if they want it. You need to put your quarantine address, and make sure you give the same quarantine address that you gave for the airport. You also need to tell them your Ukrainian phone number. And again, you want to give the same number as you gave at the airport. I was worried about that because, again, I had given a friend's number at the airport. Since then, I had gotten my own Ukrainian phone number, but it's very important for tracking purposes to give that original number that you gave at the airport. That way your test results can go through and free you. And in an old version of the app, apparently they called or sent text messages to that original number. They don't do that anymore as far as I can figure out. Everything goes through the app, and my friend was not bothered at all. It's the Ministry of Health Virological Lab. People are very, very nice and very professional. They don't speak any English at all. There's one lady there that they said she spoke English, but her English was maybe a little bit better than my Ukrainian, which is embarrassing. So, but you can, on your phone, you get good reception there. You can just use Google Translate app if you have something long to communicate, and they're happy to work with you on that. There's not a lot that you really need to communicate, as long as you know to take that invoice, as I said before, to private bank. The total cost of the test for me, with everything, whether there were taxes or charges, it came to 1,070 hryvnias, which is only a little over $40. It was quite cheap. When you go to the front door of that lab, which is on 3 Estenskaya Street, the front doors are closed, and there is a notice there in Ukrainian. There's an arrow. What that notice tells you to do is to walk around the building. There's raised concrete steps and then the door. You go in there, you go up 1 level is where they do the test. If you return like I did after paying your invoice at the bank, and you have your receipt and you're trying to show it, if you return after 11 a.m. and the testing center is closed, you can go up to the 3rd floor, knock on the door to the left of the stairs, show them your receipt, and they'll know to get the virological lab people to give that to them. When you're outside the lab standing in line, for every person that comes out, 1 person goes in. It's very simple.
I know you did a lot of research, you put a lot of effort in it, and you were very determined. At the point where things were just so difficult and so impossible, you fought and you made it. And so I hope it will be worth it for you, and I'm sure it will be worth it, your arrival to Ukraine. You were a good student, you know. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was useful for you. Lviv is still in the peak. Ukraine does not have good statistics of COVID. If you like, you can come to Ukraine, but this is very serious. It's a serious disease. Do not be careless. We do not have the best healthcare system. You just do not want to get sick in Ukraine. As I'm walking around every day, I see tons of emergency vehicles driving by, and I hear rumors of some family member getting sick. I hear rumors of even deaths in my friends of friends or relatives of friends. So I don't know, you can come, but maybe you just make your own decision. But I do not advise you to cheat the system, to see how you can just not do the quarantine, not install the application, because I think it's best if you follow the rules, and I think it's best for you and it's best for us. And okay, there's a footage of streets in Lviv. They are filled with people. Sunday morning or Monday, people are walking around. So life is going on in Ukraine. Lviv is like the red zone. It's very hot spot now, very not good place to be, but people are just hanging out. But yesterday there was very bad news about tragic death of a young woman, and today I noticed people are wearing masks on the street. So it's we are a little bit reckless and very much driven by media, and everyone is a little bit scared, confused what to do. But ultimately, you want to be safe, and I hope that you will come to Ukraine, and when you will come to Ukraine, it will be nice, safe time, and you will enjoy it. Okay. Bye. Thank you, Peter. Have a nice time in Ukraine. You were my Ukrainian student. You know Greek, you know Russian, you know many languages, and I'm happy that I could teach Ukrainian, and I encourage you, my dear viewers, to learn Ukrainian.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I have to tell everyone that Irina is a wonderful Ukrainian tutor. Your lessons have helped me a lot. A lot of people that I've interacted with so far have been surprised that I've been able to speak Ukrainian. I'm so glad to be in Ukraine again.